I want to take this opportunity to talk about one orca in particular. This is Lolita. She is at Miami Seaquarium. She has been at Miami Seaquarium since 1970. Let that sink in for a moment.
I know exactly the dimensions of the tank. I know the dimensions of her, but when you actually see it, you realize how tragically small that tank is.
The tank shouldn't look like this.
You're using an animal that's just basically a facsimile, a puppet of what a real orca is. It's just tragic that she's been kept in there in that torturous environment for this long.
And I want to draw attention to their statements. Lolita will receive the highest quality care as the team works to make relocation possible in the next 18 to 24 months.
If I could meet with the owner of the aquarium and he was actually open to listening, I would say to him, what are you thinking? You wouldn't treat your children that way. You wouldn't even treat your dog that way. Why do you treat a sentient, caring animal with a brain that's as intelligent as yours this way? You know, have a heart. You've spent 40 years making money off this animal. You know, the only way Lolita's going to retire otherwise is if she dies.
Miami Seaquarium is receiving a ton of flack for drone footage put out by Urgent Seas showing Lolita, an orca that has been held captive since 1970. But how did we get here?
Our pod was out looking for food when suddenly there were loud, scary booms. I looked at my parents and they seemed afraid. It was so loud and disorienting. It was like a nightmare. Then came the nets. They were going after the young orcas like me. I tried to swim away, but the nets caught me. I was trapped. I couldn't move, and I was so scared.
This explainer video is via PETA. On August 8, 1970, 6 orcas were captured and 5 were killed in the process of the capture, according to the state archives. 4 of the orcas that died were calves, and their bellies were slit and filled with rocks, according to the Orca Network.
The place they brought me was the Miami Seaquarium, the place that I would never get to leave.
This, in the past, has been big business for Miami Seaquarium and the like. They had been doing it all since the 70s. Since then, some 270 orcas have been captured, with at least 12 dying and more than 50 on captive display. All are dead but Lolita. She had a tank mate named Hugo, who died in 1980 after ramming their head over and over against the walls of the tank. Many activists said it was death by unaliving. Naomi Rose, a marine mammal scientist, told Nat Geo of tank life, "It's basic biology. If you've evolved to move great distances to look for food and mates, then you are adapted to that type of movement. Whether you're a polar bear or an elephant or an orca, you put orcas in a box that is 150 feet long, by 90 feet wide, by 30 feet deep, and you're basically turning them into a couch potato." One man many viewers may know of has joined the fight.
I know Lolita wants to get to free waters.
Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay.
My only mission is I'm a 3-year-old boy that sees a whale that he loves, that wants to help this whale get free. I know she wants to go home.
Irsay, it was reported, was behind the financials to move Lolita. The Marine Park and nonprofit Friends of Toki announced in March of 2023 of the historic initiative to move Lolita, though it has not happened yet. Phil Demers, a previous employee of Marine Park Marineland in Canada, saw another orca, Kiska, aka the loneliest whale in the world, die in March of 2023 after spending years in a cramped tank, swimming in endless circles and floating listlessly. Demers would tell the Miami New Times, "I'm seeing Toki in the same condition Kiska was in, and I'm seeing the exact same messages being repeated. We can't continue to wait for a whale utopia to be built and wait for optimal conditions for her to enter this utopia. The longer we wait for perfection, the likelier it becomes that she is going to die." So can orcas be released back into the wild? Well,
We are right now with a pod of orcas, and I've just taken a picture of one orca that's been tagged, and it means that it's one of those orcas that has been released here in the Russian Far East. That means that despite all the arguments from the captive industry, orcas actually can be released and safely returned into their natural environment and live happy life in where they belong to.
instead of aiding the process, Miami Seaquarium has now put out this against activists.
The man who captured the drone footage for Urgent Seas has been served with a lawsuit brought to him by Miami Seaquarium.
Remember Phil Demers, the man who took the drone footage where Lolita is currently being held captive? Well, he has been served with a lawsuit from Miami Seaquarium.
They're claiming that Phil damaged their reputation. This is beyond laughable.
It would take time, essentially with Lolita being moved off the coast to a larger area in natural waters so she can relearn how to hunt, swim without a tank, etc. They say it'll take 18 to 24 months, that was back in March, but the PR statements they put out of the highest care appear to have been exposed. One of the worst incidents of not taking care of their animals came back in 2017 when hurricane season came about. Handlers obviously left to take cover, but left Lolita and her tank with debris filling up. It is time. It has been past time. Release Lolita. Let her go back.